Well, see, when you look at somebody like me, I grew up here. There's nothing you can tell me about Memphis that I don't already know.
There's nothing you can tell me about Memphis.
From the boardroom to the streets.
I don't already know.
With Mike from Memphis, man. Together, we can fix.
You say, I want to be treated fairly, and I want a voice.
Yeah.
I want
He saw things weren't fair, so he chose to run for mayor. You get up and do something when you really care. It's Memphis 360.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
In the meantime,
It's Memphis 360.
In the meantime, in between time, we got folks shooting people up out the frame. Anybody said a word. We've become accustomed to people dying in this city.
Yeah. It's Memphis 360.
Turning the TV on and the news and see our loved ones and see young people that are out of control. And now you see, okay. But we talk about incarceration. We talk about the youth. We talk about giving them the ability. We talk about investing in young people and investing in the community. See, I hate ignorance. I hate when people make decisions about things and they make statements and they haven't done their research.
How can you fix the problem when you don't even know what the problem is?
We need some help in this city.
It's Memphis 360.
See, I hate ignorance.
It's Memphis 360. Man.
And good evening. We'd like to welcome you to another edition of Memphis 360, the television show that we say we like to go from the boardroom to the streets. And it's even more critical now that our leaders in this city, be it political, be it business, be it community leader, they have to have the ability to coordinate, talk to, plan with the individuals that are running this city, and also be able to communicate with the individuals that are actually out there in the community on the ground making it happen. Because if there's a disconnect, which there has been a serious disconnect, we find ourselves in positions like we do right now. And that's everybody's all over the place. You know, I was looking through a lot of the news and just been kind of keeping up with what's going on. And it's very evident that a lot of this has occurred because of decisions that have been made by individuals that have been in leadership positions and critical positions because of how they have been prioritizing the importance of issues in this city. You know, everybody wants to invest in all of these different projects, but the most important thing that individuals need to invest in and the most valuable asset that we have in this community are the citizens. And until we get the citizens on track, all of this other stuff, you know, you build it, they will come, you build it, it will look good. But what we're finding out is you build it, they will tear it down. You build it, they will rob it. You build it, they will steal it. So we gotta change how we are prioritizing our efforts here in this city. Now, I want to congratulate and all of those individuals that are on the Memphis Police Department. They're having a lieutenant's promotional test this week. They're also having the major's promotional test this week. There are 2-day processes. I believe the lieutenants took their written tests on Wednesday. The majors are taking their written test today. Tomorrow, the lieutenants will be taking their video assessment test. And on Saturday, the majors on the police department will be taking their video assessments. And I just want to say, hey, man, you guys been studying hard. You've been working real hard. You have put the work in. And now just go in there, be confident, do the daggone thing, and let's get promoted. And I want to send a special shout out to my wife. She is actually in the lieutenant's promotional process this year. and I hope her well, wish her well, because, man, my house has been in chaos the last couple of months. All this studying, and I hope it all pays out in the end. When it comes to the crime in this city, man, geez, it's like it just does not stop. And I don't know what's going on out there in Orange Mound. I believe on last night before last, they had a 29-year-old that was shot, and they had a 4-year-old was shot. See, we're continuously having children that are involved in these incidences, innocent children that are being shot because individuals are just randomly shooting into cars, shooting into houses, and all of that. You know, my friend Keith Leachman, he is going to have an event out there in Orange Mound. I talked last week about a video that they shot out there in Orange Mound on the week prior. And if you go to my Facebook page down the line, you can actually see where they were having this event, and they were out there with AR-15s, they were out there with pistols, they were out there with all kinds of stuff. But I tell you, on the, I believe it's the 24th, is it the 24th? Keith Leachman, they're going to be having a Safe Summer giveaway. It's going to be at Lewis Davis Park, 1206 Pendleton Street. They're going to be giving away Bibles, books, balls, and care packages. They're going to have entertainment, community resources, law enforcement will be present. And if you would like, please donate to this event. You can get a hold of Keith Leachman. His number is 901-503-4114. That's 901-503-4114. You know, Keith is the executive director of Stop the Killing, Cut the Beef. Stop the Killing, Cut the Beef. You know, he's trying to work with these young people, trying to do things out there in that community. So if you have the ability to assist him, to help him, he's asking for volunteers, all of that, please call Keith Leachman, 901-503-4114. And we just talked about the 29-year-old and the 4-year-old that was shot out there. And I think they had another incident a couple of weeks prior to whereas they had several individuals that were shot out there in Orange Mound. There is a need in this city. And if, in fact, we can do something to help out, it's time for us to get active, to get engaged, to be involved. And I know everybody heard about what happened at Buster's liquor store. Jesus Christ. Man, you know, Buster's has been a part of the community for the longest. You know, we got businesses that are definitely trying to do things in the community. They give back into the community. And this is not just somebody just going up there throwing a brick through the window and they're going into these organizations and they're robbing them. Man, this is a coordinated effort. You got 10, 11, 12 cars pull up to the actual liquor store, back into the door, and they go in there and take all kinds of things. And then the news media said that it was possibly a job whereas individuals kind of knew what they were doing because they went straight for the good stuff and they knew where the good stuff was. Okay, so somebody was knowledgeable about Buster's liquor store and all the things that they had going on in there. Then these car break-ins, Jesus Christ, these car break-ins, we had last night at St. Francis Hospital, I think they broke into about 20 cars. About 20 cars at the hospital. That had to be a coordinated effort as well. You know, a lot of the things that are happening now, it's not just one individual, it's a coordinated effort. And, you know, I talked to you last week about all of the cars that have been broken into down at 201 Poplar, right across the street in the parking lot. The same night, I think they broke into a lot of cars down at Elvis Graceland, down off of Elvis Presley. Crime should be one of the #1 topics in the city. And I'm not talking about just a topic. I'm talking about crime should be one of the #1 focuses in this city. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not supporting anybody on city council, Mike Williams, that's not going to make that a priority. And I'm not talking about getting out here on the campaign trail and making it a priority. I'm not talking about, you know, telling people what they want to hear because we have so many citizens that are being victimized. That's not what I'm talking about. We need a voice on city council, on the county commission, because everybody seems to want to cater to, I get it. They just had a birthday celebration for Mr. Tyree Nichols, and he deserved it. He deserved it. Anybody that is needlessly killed in this city, they deserve to be recognized. But you got to have individuals that have the wherewithal, the intestinal fortitude, and the wisdom to say, okay, this is right and this is wrong. We need to lobby in Nashville for stronger laws. We need to stop letting these people out of jail. But at the same time, we don't want the police out there violating anybody's civil rights. All right? I'm one of the first people to tell you that. We don't need a place where the police can just do what the heck they want to do. They need to be held accountable. But guess what? These individuals out here committing these crimes, they need to be held accountable. We need to stop with this soft soap, soft hand approach. And people need to know that there are consequences for their actions. Look, you go out here and kill somebody, no, you're not getting out of jail. You are a threat to society, period. Well, Michael, I don't know why you want to lock all the babies up because, babies. They telling these young people, commit these crimes, you're not going to go to jail, they're going to let you right out. And it becomes a vicious cycle. And now they become hardened criminals. I've been kind of keeping up with a lot of this crime that's going on, not just here in the city of Memphis, but in other cities as well. And a lot of these individuals, they're repeating these crimes and are repeat offenders because they know that they're not going to be held accountable. They know that society has become soft. They know that they're going to continue to side or err on the side of caution because nobody wants it to appear that they're hard. You're racist. You don't love us, Michael. You don't love your people because you're always talking tough. There used to be a time when individuals understood. What's the song say? Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Don't. Because we got innocent citizens out here that are trying to live their lives, that are working hard every day, that are trying to eke by in life. Young ladies that are working hard, trying to hold on to a car, trying to hold on to an apartment, trying to hold on to a place. And they have their car stolen. I know a young lady moved into an apartment, had worked hard, finally got her an apartment, finally got her a car. The first night she was in her brand new apartment, they stole her car. Now she can't go to work. Now that's going to set that young lady back who's trying to be a positive contributor to society. So I don't want to hear it. I'm sick of this. Well, we got to love everybody. I do love everybody. But sometimes there's a thing called tough love too. And we can no longer afford to continue to allow individuals to take advantage of our kindness. Wednesday night, individual driving over there on 240 near Perkins and Mount Moriah. Black Chrysler 300 pull up behind them, waving a gun. Individual pulls up next to the car, starts firing at the individual that's just driving on 240. Interstate shootings are up again. I mean, when has it become you can't even drive on the expressway? Is everybody so mad and you're so traumatized that you can no longer drive? It's no longer safe to drive on the streets of Memphis? And don't get me wrong, people are going to do what they're going to do. But individuals like that, they need a $300,000 bond. They need to be made to know that if you do something that egregious, there are consequences because other people are watching. In some countries, you steal, they cut your hands off. juveniles do something mischievous, they do public canings. In Central America, it was known that if you did some crazy things, they'd chop your head off. Now, I'm not saying we have to go to that degree, but I'm saying they don't have a lot of mischievous children in those countries. They don't have a lot of theft in those countries. They don't have a lot of guns in those countries. There's no need because people understand that there are consequences for your actions. Now, I'm saying this is the beginning of our interviews. I had Mr. Clemens on here, Davin Clemens, on here a couple of weeks ago. Tonight we have Mr. Jared Price, who is running for City Council District 8, Position 3. This is not Jared's first time running for City Council. But I'm going to tell you what I like about Jared. Jared, ever since I've known him, he's been out here in the community. He's been doing the work. He's been going cleaning up neighborhoods. He's been organizing efforts. Those things that we said we want individuals to do, the hands-on work, getting involved. Not just the lip service, not just being down there trying to be seen at the city council, but that are actually doing the work. And it wasn't one time, it wasn't 2 times, it wasn't 3 times. Every time you looked around, Jared was somewhere doing something. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have some other people that are going to come on that are running for the same positions. But I want the citizens of Memphis to be informed, just like I did with the judges' races and different things like that. You have the ability to ask them questions. We are live right now on Facebook. The number to call is 901-244-6844. 74. 901-244-6874. And I know that because I say it all the time, Jesus. But if you have a question that you want to ask Jared, you can ask Jared. And this is coming to you from SVP TV Network. You can catch us on Roku, Apple, Fire, Uverse, and Comcast Channel 17. So we're going to go ahead on and take a real quick commercial break. And we're going to get Jared up here so you can ask him questions. I'm going to ask him questions because this election to me is critical. You need individuals that have the ability to mean what they say and say what they mean. Right now we need individuals that are going to represent their constituency, not their own personal, selfish wants, desires, but individuals that are going to hold true. And I'm going to tell you right now, any individual that don't do that, we need to get their ass out. Period. Stop allowing these people to have consecutive terms and they're not representing you the way that you want to be represented. We got to stop giving people passes. Just like we're talking about being tough on crime, we need to be tough on the politicians. We need to be tough on parents. We need to be tough on these individuals committing the crimes. Because in order for us to survive, because Memphis has so much to offer, we have so many resources. We are the crown jewel of this region. But until we get it clean and until we make it inhabitable and a place to where people can feel safe, people want to build businesses. People want to come and enjoy all of the activities and the festivals and the concerts and Beale Street and the museums. And we have a world-class zoo right here in the city of Memphis. We're the gateway to the West. We produce our own natural gas. We have our own utility. Yet, we have a stain because Memphis is also known for crime. All right, we're going to take a real quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have Mr. Jared Price, my friend. So don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Can you actually imagine hosting your next event at the all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center? Yes, spacious, beautiful venue with plenty of parking, located in the heart of East Memphis. Let us host your next intimate birthday gathering, family repast, bachelorette party, wedding and reception, baby shower, corporate meeting, social club event. Call us today. Don't wait. 901-244-6874. The all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center.
For over 20 years, OPOX has been keeping the Mid-South
warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
OPOX is family owned and operated, so our family will take care of yours every step of the way. And right now, you can double up and save. Buy a new AC unit and get 50% off a new furnace to match it. Count on OPOX for fast and professional heating and cooling services. Count on OPOX.
You're talking about a good time shield. We all come on now.
Center Stage Gospel Music live from Memphis, Tennessee, 8 p.m. Central.
Hey folks, it's Issa Haddad here. I got some good news and a special invitation for you to come see me here at Sunrise Collierville. Come on down, check out my inventory with new, pre-owned, and certified vehicles to choose from. I can get you finance when no one else can. Come on by, bring your family. I treat you like family. Come see me, Issa, here at the #1 dealership in the Mid-South, 4605 Houston Levy Road, Sunrise Collierville. Come on down, check out my inventory with hundreds of vehicles to choose from, pre-owned, new, and certified.
Good news from Sunrise Chevrolet. Get in your new vehicle today. Come on in, ask for Issa. Bankrupt, slow pay, bad credit, it's okay. Let Issa put you in your brand new truck or car today when you shop at Sunrise Chevrolet Collierville.
And don't forget, ask for me, Issa.
And welcome back to Memphis 360, the television show. We say you have to be able to go from the boardroom to the streets. And I have a guest in the studio now that knows exactly how to do that. I have Mr. Jarrett Price in the studio, and he's running for Memphis City Council Super District 8. Position 3. Welcome, Jarrett.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Man, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you for taking the time out your busy today to come in and talk to us.
Definitely.
Okay. First of all, we already got a question from Jeff Mayer. He says, I have a question, and this is from our Facebook. You can actually tune in to us on Facebook. Jeff said, I have a question. Last year, there were 17,000 felony arrests, but only 35 that went to trial. Why? Do you want to answer that?
There's a part of it I can answer because
Okay.
I just recently talked to some of our judicial commissioners.
Okay.
I learned that there is, and you spoke to this earlier, there is state legislation that has to change to really reform our bail and our accountability factor in this state.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people talk about, oh, well, we need to get on the judges, we need to get on the judicial commissioners. We actually need to be lobbying our state legislators to change the Bail Reform Act of 1978. That's how long this has been on the books. As far as specifics on why only 35 out of that many went to trial, that's probably going to come down to the Bail Reform Act and what's inside of that. We need to do better about making sure that people that are a threat to society do not end up back on the streets.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you the other part to that, Jeff, is because a lot of these guys make plea deals.
Yes.
They plea out. A lot of those public defenders are getting those guys to make plea deals. They may go sit down for 6 months somewhere and come out. They may have been locked up, some of them, for 6 months prior to them going to trial, and they'll give them what they call time served. They've been very light on the sentencing, and Jarrett is correct. You know, when it comes to individuals talking about getting on the judges, getting on, you know, come July the 1st, there's a new law that is going into effect. The Tennessee legislature just enacted a law that for heinous crimes or felonious crimes, the judicial commissioners can no longer set bail for those guys.
Yep.
It has to be a sitting judge.
Yep.
Those are the only individuals that are, when you talk about homicides, aggravated assaults, home invasions, carjackings, all of those kinds of things, the judicial commissioners will no longer be able to set a bond for those. It has to be a has to be a judge. And I just saw, when I talked about the guy earlier, the guy who was shooting at the car on the expressway on Wednesday, I think he had to go, he went before a judge. It was a judge that actually set his bail. And I think his bail was set at $175,000, as opposed to a lot of these individuals that are going to the bail hearing room. They use this Val calculator. It's based on their income. Whereas you've seen a lot of these individuals that had an $800,000 bond that was imposed by a judge, and then they appeal to the bail hearing room, and some of them were knocked down to like $25,000. So as opposed to an $800,000 bond, when you got to pay either $80,000 cash, which is 10%, or you have to when they knocked it down to a $25,000 bond, then the only thing you really had to pay was $2,500. So that's the difference, and allowing them the ability to be able to get out of jail. And some people are saying, well, a lot of the activists are saying, and the ACLU and some of those other people, they're saying that, you know, bail should not be used punitively. That's what they say. Anyway, okay. So welcome to the show, Jared.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, good. I hope that kind of answered your question a little bit there, Jeff. The number to call is 901-244-6874, 901-244-6874, and we have Jared Price in the studio, who is running for City Council, Super District 8, Position 3. Okay, so tell the people a little bit about yourself there, Jared.
Well, thanks for having me on again, Mike.
Okay.
I was here when I was running for council in 2019. I served 4 years as your City Beautiful Commissioner. Got elected to be the president of the Downtown Neighborhood Association for 2 years. Built that from 67 members to over 500.
Oh, wow.
By activating and engaging the community, because I think when you're in a position of leadership, that's what you need to do, is unite people and bring people together, give people a voice.
Okay.
You know, I've got a saying that I go by. It says, be seen serving, don't serve to be seen. And so to me, if you're in it for the right reason, and if you're trying to make a good impact on your city, that's what you need to be doing.
Wow.
But, you know, my presidency came to an end last year of the Downtown Neighborhood Association. People asked, what are you going to do next year? And I said, well, wherever I can be of service and make the most impact. So got together with some community leaders and some elected officials, and they said, Jared, we think you'd be a great councilman. Okay. So been racking up some really great support, endorsements from community leaders and elected officials alike. We've got Dr. Althea Green, we've got Angela Barksdale, Commissioner Erica Sugarman, Senator Sarah Kyle, Miss Hazel Moore, the Mayor of Whitehaven, has endorsed us and is supporting us. But it's all because of the work we've been doing in the community.
Right.
When I lost that election in 19, I didn't just step down and say, oh, well, I'll wait for the next one to run. Because to me, it's not about running for an election. It's about doing the work for the people.
Right.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, you know, I have seen Jared, you know, because you know me, I watch people. I'm a people watcher. And I you know, last year, I saw Jared all over the place, cleaning up different neighborhoods, South Memphis, Frazier, Whitehaven, you know, just different places like that. And I said, what is he doing? What is really going on? But he was organized all of these cleanup efforts. So what was that all about?
That was my role as City Beautiful Commissioner for 4 years. You know, blight and crime go hand in hand.
Yes.
You ever heard of the broken window effect?
Yep.
People talk about, well, if you roll into a neighborhood that's got broken windows, you know, and looks blighted and nobody cares about it, it's going to bring crime, and it makes criminals think that it's okay to do crime in that neighborhood.
Because nobody cares.
Because nobody cares.
Right.
But I think as a City Beautiful Commissioner, we led cleanups, community cleanups throughout the city. Now, mind you, we got a lot more work to do. We need more people is involved in cleaning up Memphis. But what we need to do is engage our community. We led one of the largest community cleanup efforts ever with the Litter League. We had 80 teams across the city that cleaned up tens of thousands of pounds of trash throughout the city. But, you know, City Beautiful was a wonderful thing to serve on. My term ended at the beginning of the year, into late part of last year, and so that's what I was doing out in all the communities, and that's how I developed so many relationships with so many people in the community.
So you could only serve one term, or?
Terms are just, it's endless terms, but I mean, if I started kicking off a city council race, I can't be president and City Beautiful and a campaign. It's a lot to handle. So,
so
we're focused on the campaign
you're trying to
now.
dedicate your efforts full time to the campaign so that you can get into a position and be able to do a little bit more for your area of responsibility.
Correct.
So what made you want to run for city council?
Well, a lot of people told me, they said, you know, Jared, you ran once before. There were 9 people in that race. I came out third. Michael and Easter Thomas came out second. I was right behind her in votes, and then she went on to the runoff because the top 2 went to the runoff. Okay. And they said, well, Jared, are you ever going to run again? I said, well, if you know, God steers me in that way, and if the people want me to do it, I will. Okay. And so at the end of the City Beautiful term and at the end of the presidency of DNA, I had a lot of people reach out and say, you should really run for this seat. Martavius Jones is termed out. He can't run again. And you'd represent half the city, but it would be this half that already knows you, Jared. It'd be Whitehaven, where you spent, you know, many cleanups and community involvements and supporting. Well, we got the big Christmas tree for Whitehaven last year at Southland Mall. I partnered with Jason Sharif and Pearl Walker on that one. And a lot of other community leaders in Whitehaven to bring that new Christmas tree. But projects like that is how I've stayed involved, how I want to give back to my city. But God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen more than you talk. Oh, wow. Elected officials should be listening more than they speak. So I've made it a passion of mine to listen to the community and try to execute and implement things that they want done in my previous roles. But to have the biggest impact, Mike, that I can have and hopefully help my community partners is going to be being elected to city council.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to say this. We kind of hit a. You know me. I can't avoid. We talked about it a little bit before the show. Yeah. Now you were saying that some people were saying you need to leave your picture off the daggone off your posters. Yeah. And what did you say to that?
Well, in certain neighborhoods, they said that.
Okay,
so this is I think
what they're talking about is in black neighborhoods, he need to leave his picture off the posters. So you know, I always like getting the elephant in the room. So
right.
What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, it's crazy because I had some friends say, you know, and a lady that was here today in the studio said, you know, it used to be the other way around. You used to say, they used to tell you, oh, well, if you're black and running for office, don't put your picture on there. But, you know, the thing is, I think Memphis and the majority of the people that I speak to anyway, it's an insult to them to say that, oh, only black people are going to vote for black people. Right. Only white people are going to vote for white people. Right. To me, Memphis has enough common sense, and I think Memphis is fed up with politicians showing up at election time and not having the track record of community service and people's priorities over their own priorities. Right. And I think Memphis can make their own damn decision, pardon my French,
go ahead,
on whether they want somebody who has a track record or whether they want somebody who's going to show up and say, well, I'm in this club, or I'm in that club, or I'm friends with this person, or I've got this much money. That ain't about what service is about. Right. Be seen serving, don't serve to be seen. Look at our track record, the stuff that we've been doing and that I've been doing with the community, and I promise you I'm not going to let you down.
Yo, this is my thing. I always say it. I don't care if you're black, white, green, yellow, made of cheese, Hispanic, Asian, African, Zimbabwe, I don't care. As long as you do what's right. Because what we're doing now ain't working. It's not working. And I don't care. The measure of a man to me is his heart and his actions. Period. Period. And I don't, you know, I'm sick of, and when I heard somebody say that, I knew exactly what they were talking about, because you are going to have a lot of people that are so short-sighted that they're not going to look at the track records of the individuals that are running,
Right.
and they're not going to pay attention to the heart of the individuals that are running, the passion, the concern for the city of Memphis. Because I'm going to tell y'all this, we've been voting for a lot of black folk that have not had your best interests at heart. Hello, somebody. All right? Michael, I can't believe you said that. Yeah, you do. You know I don't have a problem with it. We have been electing a lot of individuals. We've had black mayors. We've had predominantly black city councils. We have predominantly black city council, predominantly black county commission, and we still find ourselves in the position that we're in because a lot of them have not valued people, have not valued citizens. And that's the problem. They put everything else before the citizens. Hold on. Whoa. Maybe this is a spam call. It's in Florida. Hello? Hello?
Hello, my name is Carl. How are y'all tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I don't know what spam is other than the potted meat there. The call today, I was perusing through YouTube there. I got me one of the smartphones, and I reckon I like the picture your man who there was running for city council for.
Okay. All right.
He looks like a nice young gentleman.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, and what particular party would you be voting for there?
Well, in a city council, there's actually nonpartisans. A lot of the issues that face a city, you have to have bipartisan support. But in the city of Memphis, none of them are actually Democrat or Republican. It's all nonpartisan.
All right, then what are you proposing for city council there? I only been watching here a few minutes now.
Well, one of my biggest concerns is, and what Mike said earlier, this caller said, what is one of my proposals as the next councilman? If crime is not one of the top priorities of any candidate, they probably don't need to be sitting on city council. Because with that, if you have crime, you're risking businesses, you're risking entrepreneurs, you're risking our children, you're risking tourism, and all of that affects our city and affects you and me at home.
Right.
So one of the things that I'm adamant about is our increase in community policing.
Okay.
I am a huge supporter of community policing. We need more police assigned to certain neighborhoods where they develop relationships to the people that they live next door to, on bicycle police, motorcycle police, on foot police, and then having meetings where they are engaging with the community. Because if you build that trust with that officer that lives next door to you, or you see police to where they're able to drive the neighborhoods at night like they used to back in the day, and they made sure the communities and the cars were safe, I think that's where we really step in to making community policing a priority and also make it effective, because the cities in the USA who have stepped up community policing have seen a decrease in crime.
Okay. Did you hear that caller?
Yeah, I reckon what this old boy is saying here is that you need more community policing than it is more corporation. You know, you need to make it more of a friendly interaction there with your local law enforcement, other than them just arresting you for some old, we're driving on suspended type of deals.
Right.
I reckon that old boy's right about that. You can get some local law enforcement in there and gain trust of the community.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Got to build that trust.
Right.
Yep.
Well, all right, caller. Well, thank you so much for calling.
All right, then.
Okay, have a good day. Okay, the number to call is 901-244-6874, 901-244-6874. We have Jared Price in the studio, and he is running for City Council, Super District 8, Position 3. Now, let me ask you this, Jared. Since the gentleman talked about crime, do you have a crime plan? Do you, that's something I want to know from these politicians as well.
Right.
Because everybody already know that they want to do something in their community. They're going to get their little $200,000 to invest back into the community, each council person to give to their little favorite their favorite nonprofit or what have you. But do you have a crime plan?
I think crime plans are multifaceted, first of all. I have a lot of ideas I think will help curb crime.
Okay.
Like I said, number one, community policing.
Okay.
Because Mike, I think, you know, when I was a kid, and I remember seeing police drive by in the evenings and at night, checking on the houses, checking on people's cars, making sure the neighborhoods were secure. But it was police that we knew. We had a relationship with them.
Yeah.
And Mike said that earlier. He said, we've got to build trust. We got to build a relationship with those police officers. And I think that if we had a way to build more on that, that's going to help crime. Number two, crime is also, the crime we're seeing right now, 6,000 cars.
Yeah.
6,000 cars in this city so far this year have been stolen or broken into.
And we haven't even surpassed the half-year mark.
We're just now in June,
Right.
just now. So we look back at those numbers, who's committing these crimes, it's young kids, it's juveniles.
Right.
And so what I see is a lack of investment into our youth.
Come on.
I see a lack of investment into programs that helps that mom that's working 2 jobs that can't be there after school.
Right.
We need more investments into programs like the Boys and Girls Club, Memphis Shelby County PAL. We need to be investing in our youth more than ever to deter this crime wave that we have right now. That is another big aspect of our crime. But the other aspect of our crime is making sure that people that do go and kill somebody are not released onto the street 48 hours later.
Outstanding. And I'm going to tell you, I am a major supporter of community policing. When I first came on the department back in 1999, community policing was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I actually got to work in a couple of what they called back then the COACs, the Community Action Police Units. And they were very involved in the community. They were very involved in the community centers. They knew all of the kids within the community. They knew the activities. Kids would come to them and let them know when certain things were about to occur so that they could be proactive as opposed to reactive. They had the ability to go knock on grandmama's door or mama's door to say, hey, look, we're looking for little Jimmy or what have you. And mama would not cuss the police out back then, but she'd be like, okay, Officer Williams, when little Jimmy come home, I'm going to call you. Because mama or grandmother actually trusted those officers because those officers showed that they had a vested interest in that community. And I'm going to also tell you this. I like what you said, and people look at me. I'm not about throwing money needlessly up against the wall. That's not what I'm talking about. But I will tell you, when I was coming up, there were all kinds of programs, and it wasn't considered a hard thing to do. It was considered investing in your community, investing in the community's future, investing in the youth in the community. So it wasn't something that had a bad connotation to it. You know, a lot of people now want to say, well, if you're going to spend all of that money on them kids, that's why are we spending all that money on them kids? Well, you spend all that money on them kids because in my day, a lot of us went to college. Because we felt as though we had hope, we had the ability to dream, and we could live out our aspirations. Because they had programs in the community centers. It wasn't just a building that you went to, and you had 2 people in there that just kind of guard the building or have stewardship over the building. No, they had programs in the building, they had crafts in the building, they had activities in the building, they allowed nonprofits to be in the building so that they could service the kids, you know, just different things like that. And that's what I think a lot of times, Jared, we are missing the boat. Because Mayor Strickland just wanted to announce he was going to spend $700-some million over there at the Fairgrounds project. And I'm going to tell you, I am not against development. I'm not against development, which a lot of people think I am, but I'm not. But I am for a parallel. You talked about a multi-pronged approach. I like that because it ain't just about locking people up. It ain't just about letting people out on the, letting them out of jail, but it's also about trying to invest in these, you know, put programs for parents. Because I'm finding a lot of the problem is parents, Jared.
Yep. I'll tell you a story, Mike. One of the stories is a lady in Whitehaven I was talking to, and she said, Jared, let me tell you a story about how much if we invested into programs into our youth, how much it could change and impact our city. She said this young family moved in. The dad left the mom. The mom had to go work 2 jobs to pay the bills, pay the rent. She said so the kids would come home instead of having one of the parents there after school. The kids would come home and mom had to work 2 jobs. She said those kids then got out of the house because after school, no parent there to supervise, got out, started walking the streets. Well, then down the street was a drug dealer, flashing guns and jewelry and all this stuff. And to a kid, and flashing money. To these kids, she said it looked appeasing to them. It looked like it drew them in. She said, and I watched them 2 babies go from good students coming home every day doing their homework because their mom was home to coming home to no mom, no parent, and being involved in gangs and drugs. And she said, but Jared, if we invested more into community outreach with the Boys and Girls Club, with Memphis Shelby County PAL, with programs, or it stopped tearing out our community center swimming pools so that they can go swim after school, or keep this community centers open till 11 or midnight. You know, don't shut them down at 5 o'clock. That's when we need them the most. If we altered these dollars in our city budget to focus on our youth and our communities, we can actually have a real impact.
And that's what I'm saying. Do both.
Do both.
You know, do your economic development, because we want a city that has things. But you know, I always hear from a lot of young people, what is there to do here in the city of Memphis for young people?
Well, there's not a whole lot, and that's the thing is, you know, crime in the summer always goes up.
Yep.
And look at what happens in the summer. There's no school. School's out, kids are out, but they've torn out all this community center swimming pools. Can kids go swim? Are there activities for them to do? There's not as much as there needs to be. Now I'm going to give huge kudos and credit to like organizations like the Boys and Girls Club and the Memphis Shelby County PAL, Craig Littles and all them up in Fraser that are doing great work to keep these kids with something good and productive to do. But we need to be doing more, just like the new Orange Mound Splash Park that they put in. Those kids can go down to the park now and play and have a splash pad and be there.
Oh, wow.
But
where is that at?
Orange Mound Park. Yeah, I was there at the groundbreaking for that last year.
Is that right next to Melrose High School?
Right around the corner, yeah, it is. It's right there. Wonderful park, huge pine trees. And there was a pool there for ever and ever and ever. They shut it down for whatever reasons. It seems like only the swimming pools in the black communities get shut down, which I don't know what that's about, but I mean, I kind of got some ideas. But when they tore the pool out, it sat there for empty and empty and empty. Finally now, there's a big orange splash pad within that community.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, the number to call is 901-244-6874. 901-244-6874. I can't believe, God, the phone ain't blowing up. We got Jared Price in the studio tonight. You know, if I was talking about something crazy, everybody be want to call me and talk to me. My phone be blowing up. It's like, Michael, how come? And what's going on? And now we have something so important as we have Mr. Jared Price in the studio, and you have the ability to ask him anything that you want to ask him at this time. I know that individuals out there, and it doesn't have to be the individual, well, City Council, Super District 8, Position 3 covers half the city, actually.
Half the city.
Half the city.
Yep. Fraser, downtown, midtown, North Memphis, Smoky City, Klondike, Douglas, all the way down South Memphis, Soulsville, Whitehaven, stretching over to Hickory Hill.
So I know somebody out there should have a question for Mr. Jared Price, because I got questions. I got questions of all of these people. You know, I'm very critical of a lot of the individuals that have run or that are in sitting positions on the city council or even the county commission, because I feel as though they should be held accountable and they should be responsive to the needs and the inquiries of the citizens. I have a problem when you stop picking up the phone because people are calling you because they have issues. You know, I get it. You don't want to talk to everybody, but you got assistants, you got individuals can filter and weed out some of the minutia and the bull crap. But at some point, you should have your assistant or somebody get back in touch with those constituents that have concerns about what's going on in their neighborhood. Miss Gwen says, not a constituent of District 8, still a nice area that needs standards reinforce. Restoring community policing is needed. So she liked that.
Yes.
All right. So tell your friends that community policing is needed. And that's what I also hate too. Are you going to be one of those people that's going to get in office, Jared, and you're going to forget about everybody?
No. I promise you.
You know, if you do, I'm going to talk about you.
I know. No, this is the thing. I've been elected to be the president of the Downtown Association.
Okay.
500 people were underneath our association. Businesses, residents. As City Beautiful Commissioner, people reached out to me, wanted to do city cleanups. I'll always answer my phone or my emails, and that's not going to change. My thing is if people put the power within you to represent them, you need to make sure you're available.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Leroy Jones Sr. says, "Hi, sir. We don't know him." What do you say to that?
Well, Mr. Senior, pleasure to meet you even through the phone here. So one of the things we're going to be doing is to get the name out there and our campaign out there. First of all, you can go to my website, jaredprice.com, JERRED, Price, like the Price is Right, which is our slogan, Price is Right for Memphis.com. We're going to be knocking doors. We're going to be out there with signs. We're going to be sending a lot of stuff in the mail so that we can get to know you and you can get to know me. But the biggest thing is we want to connect with people. So if you want to reach out to us and ask us questions, you're welcome to call me. My own cell phone I'll give out. I don't even mind. It's 901-281-0100. I'm all available. But one of the things that I've tried to do in the last 4 years since I lost my election is not fall off the radar. I don't want people to think that I'm here just because it's election time.
Right.
I've been working, so some of the accomplishments we've done is I helped spearhead the street renaming for James Alexander in Soulsville. Got a street renamed for Mr. James. Mr. James has endorsed us. We helped get the Christmas tree for the Southland Mall. Me and Pearl and Jason and a lot of community partners partnered together.
Okay.
Got that brought in. Been fighting forever to bring back the Mud Island Amphitheater.
Ooh.
Been fighting forever to get that brought back on. Spearheaded cleanups.
And that is a nice, that amphitheater is still nice.
Yes.
It just needs a little investment.
It just needs some investment.
A sound system, some
Yep.
light system. You know,
Yep.
as a matter of fact, my grandson shot a video over there. He did a video. We just walked in one day and he got on stage and we filmed him and he got up there in the seats and we did a video. And they're trying to bring a lot of stuff back over there because as we were out there shooting the video, I saw they were out there canoeing in the Mississippi River.
Yeah,
you know, in that little cove, like. So
That's a new program. That's a new program, but there's been a lot of stuff that I'm proud of that we've accomplished in the years that I've been in here in Memphis and the things that we've done. So I just hope to get that message out there. I hope to get the things that we've done and that track record out there because I want people to know that there's actually somebody on the ballot who has a track record for the community.
I'm sorry, Gwen. She said, pronounced Gwen.
Gwen. Hey,
Yeah,
Gwen.
Gwen. Eric said something. Eric said, since y'all won't call me and I got all these people on Facebook, what did Eric say? Eric said something. Eric was on here. He said something. I can't remember. Anyway, I get confused running all that stuff up.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Eric said, you sound like you got a good plan. You sound like you truly believe, but a lot of other people do the same thing. And how are you going to make sure that you're going to stay in touch with your constituency? And how are you going to make sure that their best interest is represented?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is to be readily available. I mean, I'll give out my cell phone number in meetings. 67 to 500. We had monthly meetings every month. We invited the membership out. We engaged them. We took what they wanted to see happen. But, you know, the biggest thing is the reason that you see elected officials get into office and then you can't get a hold of them. Disappear, don't answer their phones, is because we've elected people into office that don't have a track record of community service. They are just used to the boardroom, not the street, as Mike Williams would say.
Come on, Memphis 360!
So I luckily have been in the boardrooms, but I've also been in the streets.
Yep.
And I've done that for years now, and that's not going to change once I get this shiny little title in front of me on my city council chair.
We're going to see.
Yep.
We're going to see. if somebody wants, I want you to, real quick, we got about 2 minutes left.
All right.
I want you to give them, looking at that camera, give them your spiel, why they should vote for you, and also tell them how they can help your campaign.
Well, I would appreciate everyone's vote tonight who's watching. I'm tired of candidates showing up only when it's election time, who don't have a track record of community service and putting the community first. You can go to our website, Jared Price, Jerred, Price, like the Price is Right.com. Look at what all I have been doing in the community with my partners in the community. There's a reason that the community leaders that you all know and have known for years, like Miss Hazel, Miss Angela Barksdale, Althea Green, Erica Sugarman, Pearl Walker, all of these people support us and support my campaign, and that's because they know we've done the work. They know that Jared has the experience as the president of the Downtown Association, as a commissioner of City Beautiful, to actually execute and get these things done. And I've got the relationships with the people in the community on the streets, not just the boardrooms, to execute and get done what Memphis needs to get done. So I'd love your support. JaredPrice.com. Our slogan is Price is Right for Memphis. And you can go onto my website. We'd love your donations. We'd love your support.
Well, all right. I met Jared through Joy Ride in the City. Yep. My girl, and Aisha Taylor. Yep. They invited me over to come to Jared's house years and years ago, and we have had a relationship and been friends since then. So definitely go to JaredPrice.com. Check him out. Check him out, because a lot of people are going to say, how can a white guy represent Klondike, Orange Mound Klondike,
Smoky
City,
Douglas,
North Memphis,
Fraser, Whitehaven.
You know, all of that. How can that be? But you go and check him out and see what he has been doing and see if he is right for you. Yep. And if you can get with that, hey, and I'm hoping that he is, and he has said that he's an individual who knows that we have a crime problem and we need to deal with this crime problem. Yes. And as I always say, I'm not saying week until next week. God, I've been tongue-tied today. I don't know.
Me too.
I've been all over the place.
I swear.
But until next week, same time, same location, be blessed, be strong, be encouraged, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Yes.